In the previous video we talked about checkboxes. Now let's talk about radio buttons. So I went ahead and cleared those out from my code. So if I look at my code right now, I cleared everything back out. And let me start again with a similar example, but this time with radio buttons. So let me add 3 radio buttons. I'll have the same options, blue, red, and I believe it was black. So this is blue, and then I will call this radio button just blue to make it easier for me to refer to it as usual. Let me have another radio button right here, and let me call this red, and then I will call this red, and the third radio button, and let me call this black. So let's set the label to black, and let's call the button itself black. And then I will just have a button to check which one did I choose. So check color, and this is going to be my button. Now I want to set an action for this. Add event handler, action performed. And now I have my buttons right here, so I can go ahead and as usual I do the same thing. I will say if blue dot is selected, I will just say something like you chose blue. So system.out.println, you chose blue, and I will do the same for the other buttons. So this is gonna be for red, and this is gonna be for black. So if red is selected, you chose red, and if black is selected, we will say you chose black. Now I just need to make sure that everything got added to my frame. So wherever I see that I'm adding, I'll just go ahead and do f dot, because I named my frame f, and Eclipse is not going to do this for me. And then I will end up without those items or elements visible in my frame. So let me save this and go ahead and run it, and let me show you something. So the idea of radio buttons is whenever I select one and then I select another one, the previous one should be deselected right away. Now see this. I selected blue. Now if I select red, this should go and should come here, right? But it's not. So how can we make sure that this is going to happen? We need to create what's called a button group, and then we need to add those buttons to that group one by one. Now you can go ahead and create button group. Let me call it B is equal to new button group, parentheses and semicolon, and then you keep adding those. But an easier way around that is to go back here and right click this, and then you can go and select all of the same type. And this is going to select all of those. Right click again and say set button group, new standard. And then if I go to my source code, you will see that Eclipse created a button group for me. And in my button group, it called it button group, and you see it added blue, it added red, and it added black. So you can go ahead and write this line yourself, or you can go ahead and make Eclipse write that line for you. And then I just saved my project and I ran it. Now see, if I choose one of them, the other one is going to be deselected. And now check color, you chose red, you chose black, and you chose blue. And this is how you do radio buttons. Now again, it is the same thing with checkboxes. You can add something whenever it's selected or not selected, and you can change this code as well to make it do some kind of useful thing when you select or deselect a button of those buttons. So again, it doesn't have to be a print. The print here is just for demonstration to make this video a little easier to understand and a little shorter.